Today's lesson is about independent and dependent variables. We have to do one thing and understand functions in order to figure out when you can have an independent or dependent variable. Now, a function is a relationship between two quantities in which one quantity is associated with a unique value of the other quantity. So taking a look at this situation here we have two vending machines. One vending machine's name is refreshments, one is cold drinks. Now if you notice at the refreshments vending machine, if you press the A button, you're going to get out orange juice. If you press the B button, you're going to get out apple juice. Skim milk seems to be popular because it has two buttons to press. Chocolate milk, you press E, and if you want water, you press the button F. Now this one, whatever specific button you press, you're going to get a specific drink out. In cold drinks, if you press A, you're going to get orange juice. If you press B, you're going to get apple juice or skim milk. C will give you skim milk, D will give you chocolate milk, and E and F will both give you water. This B button is very unique because that's what makes cold drinks not a function. So the reason behind that is if you really wanted skim milk and out came apple juice, you wouldn't be happy. So, which vending machine represents a function? The refreshments, because each input, so each button you pressed, has only one unique output. Which is the drink that you got out. So which vending machine is not a function? And that's the cold drinks one, because input B, or button B, has two outputs, or two possible drinks you could get out. So something is wrong with the wiring. If you have a function, so with the refreshments vending machine, you can also identify the independent and dependent variables. You can also create a dependency statement to go along with it. So using the example above, identify the following. So going back to what we talked about before, depending on what button you pressed in the refreshments vending machine told you what type of drink you were going to get out. So we can say the type of drink you purchase depends on the code you input or what button you press. So the vending machine button, or which button you press, is going to be your independent variable, because that's up to you. Nothing depends on that. That's whatever your decision is to press which button. Now the dependent variable is what is going to happen when you press that button. It's the type of drink you get out. So the dependent variable is the type of drink. So we can say that the type of drink you get depends on whatever button you press. So your independent variable and your dependent variable help you write that dependency statement. You're always going to have something depends on something. So your dependent variable depends on your independent variable. Your dependent variable also is what's going to come out, or what is going to happen when you do something else, or a total amount of money for however many hours you work at your job. So here's an example that talks about that. It says the amount of money you earn at a summer job depends on the number of hours you work. So what we just talked about is this coming before the word depends on is your dependent variable. And whatever follows that is your independent variable. So here's a few statements. It says the amount of money you earn is a variable because it can change. The number of hours you work is also a variable because it can change. Okay, so the number of hours you work at your job can change week to week. It's never set. The number of hours you work is right here, so that's your independent variable. And the amount of money you earn is the dependent variable. Because it's calculated based on the number of hours you work. So normally a dependent variable is a total. So that's something to remember. A dependent variable is normally a total. So your dependency statement can be the amount of money you earn depends on the number of hours you work. So what I want you to do is try a couple in the in-class practice. If you have questions, raise your hand. Make sure you are checking your work for the in-class practice before you go on to your test.